Hey there, it's Adam Lugsch-Tehle, existential and lifestyle coach. I've got a good one for you today. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a shame spiral? You're just desperately seeking an escape, but you're only finding temporary relief that comes with a heavy cost? Well, I know that I have. That's why I'm smiling. Today, we're diving deep into the intricate dance between repressed shame, this relentless pursuit of shamelessness, and then the inevitable crash that follows. Listen, shame isn't a universal human experience, yet I've found that it's profoundly misunderstood. I want to explore shame's like sneaky traps and discover pathways to freedom because you deserve it. You deserve, like everybody else, to live boldly, relate wholeheartedly, walk tall in this world. So if you're with me, let's get started. A reflection question first. Have you ever denied the gravitational pull of repressed shame and fear only to be caught in a cycle of emotional turmoil when it returns, and next time with vengeance, right? Shame is like energy in motion, responding to natural laws. If you attempt to bypass shame, it's going to only intensify its eventual impact. So let's unravel the complex layers that underpin these shame spirals together. First, what is shame exactly? The way I understand shame is this intensely painful feeling that we are fundamentally flawed and therefore we are unworthy of acceptance and of belonging. It's this tape that we're playing over and over in our heads that's saying, something is wrong with me. I am bad. I don't belong. This feeling of being irrevocably defective, it sparks this urge to hide our true selves from other people, and we begin living behind this carefully constructed facade, seeking to avoid rejection. But shame cannot be outrun. The more we try to bypass it, the more it compounds. Think of it like an unpaid credit card debt that's acquiring 30% interest until one day that accumulated shame becomes too much to bear. Our facade cracks and everything around us comes crumbling down. This initiates what's then known as the shame spiral, that out of control emotional tailspin after that shame flood. And as we frantically try to mop up the mess and reconstruct our image, repressed shame just keeps continually bubbling up. And the quick fix attempts like people pleasing or numbing out or lashing out or retreating further and further into hiding, they might provide temporary relief, but the truth is that those core feelings of inadequacy, they are just lurking beneath the surface. And so the cycle repeats itself, but the shame starts to compound each round until we actually address the root issue, our belief in our inherent badness or our unlovability. You've got to be tired of the paradoxical pursuit of shamelessness that leads to a more intense emotional crash each and every time. You've got to be tired. If you've experienced the roller coaster ride of emotions from these shame spirals like I have, and you're ready to break free, you're in the right place. Stick with me. Denying or trying to neutralize shame is like attempting to stiff arm a tidal wave. It's impossible. But many of us, we still cling to tactics that offer this mirage of relief while unintentionally making things worse long term. So let me ask you this. How's it working out for you? If you're still chasing temporary highs between these crashes of despair and self-loathing, perhaps it's time for a new approach. Perhaps it's time to try something different. So, are you ready to uncover the root causes that are perpetuating this seemingly never-ending cycle? Shame is notoriously difficult to understand because it operates at a subconscious level. It's oftentimes outside of our awareness. But once we bring it into the light, we can begin dismantling shame's power over us. The cycle starts innocently enough. It's an everyday failing that most of us would just dismiss, like snapping at somebody or feeling insecure about maybe your body, for example. But shame has us believing that minor failing is exposing our inherent badness, right? So rather than sit with the discomfort, we instinctively conceal it. We avoid eye contact with the person that we just snapped at. We're sucking in our gut. We're filtering social media posts. This suppression provides short-term relief, but the denied emotions, they never dissipate. And they, as we've said before, start to accumulate until eventually the pain of keeping our true selves bottled up, keeping our secrets, becomes unbearable. Then there's just like a shame volcano erupts. We're suddenly flooded with all of those painful emotions and those self-loathing beliefs. Our minds scream condemnations like, you're worthless, or this overwhelms us, so frantically try to release the pressure, right? Get rid of these things. Like, what are the most detrimental coping mechanisms I can think of? Perhaps we compulsively overshare, or we secretly binge on food or alcohol or drugs, or you have an emotional outburst, or you retreat, isolate from friends and family. In the immediate, yeah, it offers a sweet escape, but it's not addressing the root, our belief in being defective. So the relief is only temporary, again, until the cycle repeats. And that's why directly facing our shame is the only path I can see to freedom. Feeling caught in endless shame cycles seems impossible to break. Here are some examples. Self-destructing coping mechanisms. You might be an addict of some kind. You might be drinking. It might be drugs. It might be an eating disorder. It provides that momentary escape. But then that flood of repressed shame and fear eventually becomes way too much. It leads to the emotional breakdown. It leads to meltdowns in front of your partner or your spouse. Your relationships start to unravel. You isolate further and further and further into despair. Are you longing for genuine liberation from shame's grip? Because healthy relationships no longer strained by secrecy and by hiding, and that confidence to assert your authentic self without guilt or fear of rejection, it's possible. It's there. Do you desire that independence from shame's power over you? Are you seeking healthy boundaries? What about emotional resilience? What about peace of mind? Open and honest relationships where we can communicate freely, no pretense. How does that sound? Or how about the self-assurance to live as our authentic selves, quirks and all? This is who I am. Today, we explored this really intricate shame spiral, and we laid the groundwork for personal transformation. We did this first by understanding what shame is and how shame operates. Next, seeing how denying and concealing shame inadvertently compounds it over time. It's like a volcano ready to explode. Next, uncovering why quick fixes never resolve the issue, because the root cause is a belief that we are fundamentally flawed. And then finally realizing that facing shame, that's it. It's our only way out. So if you're ready to break free, you're ready to break free from shame's grip for good, hit that subscribe button. In some upcoming videos, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into some practical steps that we can take to dismantle shame on its home turf in our subconscious minds. This is bold, it's courageous work, but I'm telling you, it is very much worth it because our freedom awaits. The path to overcoming shame can feel lonely, it can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to walk it alone. We're here to support you. I am here to support you every step of the way. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you need any kind of guidance or you simply want a listening ear. Together, we can unravel shame's grip for good. So here's to living unstoppably free together today.